G'day guys, what's going on? Supercoach here, welcome to the channel. Don't we have some great news ahead of us? The Supercoach team picker has finally come out, so it comes out today, which is awesome. So we'll have a quick gaze at all the players and how much they cost. Now we got the new flex position, which is pretty interesting there. If you don't have Supercoach Gold already, you're going to have to pay about $30, so that's a bit of a stitch up. They have raised the price a little bit there, so it's definitely worth it though, just before Christmas to have a little play around, see it, what your team might look like and, you know, what players you might end up picking. But straight off the bat in defence, looks like Sam Flanders is D1, so with an average of 119. It's probably like one of those picks where you might have to just pay up for him. He's a bit more expensive, like 641k, but he should be able to maintain that scoring throughout the year. I'd expect him to reach another level next year, where he wasn't dropping under 100 this year. So I think I'll have to pick him. Might have to get at least one of the big guys out of the top dollar guys here, out of Sheasel and Ryan and all that. So I think Flanders is the guy for me, just because he's got that DPP swing. And then who else would I pick? I'd probably pick back in my guy McGovern again. I reckon that, you know, next year with Barras leaving and, you know, some other delistings like Alex Witherden, I believe, got delisted, McGovern's just going to turn into an absolute beast. He's probably going to turn into like a Shannon Hearn type of player from a couple of years back when he was just going 110 plus every week. He was like D1 for like most of the year. So in that year, but I think, McGovern, if he doesn't get injured, he's got heaps of upside, so I think I'd probably pay up for him, to be honest, and just keep him, like have him locked away as a keeper throughout the whole year. Some other guys in here like Houston at Collingwood, not too sure about that role yet, so probably we'll have a look at that one over the pre-season. And then I'll probably pick my guy Maxi Holmes from the Cats. I think he's undervalued, to be honest. He could easily get up to 600k next year, but I do have a bit of Geelong bias there, so I think he's going to be a really good player for the club for multiple years to come. I think he's about to reach his prime. And then who else have we got here? Some other guys here a bit undervalued, like Sicily. Is he going to bounce back? He might be playing forward now, though. That's the only concern for me. Stewart is pretty undervalued. I think he should be able to just go back and go really well next year. He shouldn't be getting as much attention now that Bailey Smith's in the team, I would imagine, and I don't think he'd be getting midfield time, so hopefully his role is reset and he can be a good pick for Supercoach. I probably won't go there. It's probably just him or Holmes. I think Holmes for me, though, just because he should be playing like pure mid, and the fact that like Dangerfield's going to be like 35 or 36, I can't remember. He's going to be missing some games throughout the season due to like being rested and managed and stuff like that. So I think that Holmes is going to be the number one guy now, even ahead of like Smith. I reckon he's looking really good. Not too sure who else to go for, just having a little scroll down at the minute. I think there's like a few guys that, you know, are valued pretty decent. I wonder how much Coleman is. How much is he? 269. I think, you know, we were going to start him this year, but then he like did his ACL or something, I think, and didn't want to start. We couldn't start him, so I think next year should be a lock. Probably take Zorko's spot. I don't know how that'll work. Then who's the? So we've got some cheap rookies as well. We've got 99k rookies now, so I think they did that in the past, but don't know if I'm going to go for any of those guys. I'll have to look more into it. I'm pretty sure that Ollie Murphy was like a top draft pick, like top 30 or something for Freo. So I think he should be able to slide into the team. He looks like he's already ready to go for AFL, if I'm correct. And then who else have we got in defence? Bo Allen. I think he's another guy that most people should have. I think it was West Coast's first pick in the draft because, you know, they traded their pick And, they got their guy in the end, so that's all that matters. So he should be getting games like every week, I would imagine, and it's just a bonus that he's got the DPP status. Another guy that's cheap, we'll grab Gibkiss there. And Jed Buse could be a guy to look out for. Like, he might be getting consecutive games every week. He was playing in the finals and stuff, so it could be another guy that should be not a bad option. But yeah, I'm not sure if they'll play O'Sheen Mullen over Buse or not. And then who is going to finish off my defence? Haven't really had a thought about that yet. What am I speaking? Yeah, Tom Duday is there as well, so he's around like the cheaper side of things, so could be a good option. Probably not though, coming off injury, but we'll have to wait and see. Wayne Miller is another value option there, so he's probably someone we want to monitor throughout the preseason. Sorry. Rory Atkins as well. So there's a few good options here that are a bit cheap. So just have a look. I'll probably just grab someone cheap and chuck him in this team for the moment because I can't really think of anyone. Just grab Gallagher. And then into the midfield. Not too sure about what to do in the midfield just yet, but I know that Dacos is probably a lock for me. Heaney's probably going to back it up again next year, so he's in considerations. Wouldn't mind going to Merritt or someone like that. But yeah, probably he's probably like pretty fairly priced, to be honest, for Merritt. He's probably going to reach 700k pretty quick, you would imagine. I think he'll just improve again. I might go with LDU. I think he's coming into like contract year, so he's going to be playing well, I would imagine, and other clubs will be trying to go after him. So it'll be an interesting year. And Petrarca's undervalued, so I think you just got to pick him. Should be able to bounce back from the injury, hopefully. Jordan Dawson's pretty cheap as well. Same with Rao. These other guys are good value options that you might want to consider, I would imagine. Even Josh Kelly. Who else are we looking at? Ed Richards should be all right, but I wouldn't start him personally. And then we'll go down the list where it gets a bit more juicy. Might actually just pick Parrish for the moment. I think, he had an interrupted preseason last year, at the start of the year as well. And it got a bit injured again, which isn't the greatest. So if he can have a good preseason for 481k, I think he should be a good pick. He could, go back up to 650k pretty quick, and he's got a high ceiling. So I think he's a really good value option. Could be a keeper. So I'll probably have him in my team for the moment. And then scrolling down, so there's some talk about De Goey being pretty fit and firing at the moment. So that's another wait and see. He's pretty good value. He's just hasn't been consistent in the past. So definitely keep an eye on him, I reckon. And Ashcroft just won the Norm Smith, so he could be another guy to consider if you wanted to go there. Just not too sure about how the Brisbane midfield will go, because there's so many good players there. So who's going to be the number one guy there? Probably still Neil or Dunkley maybe, but definitely want to consider Ashcroft and Harley Reid as well as another guy there. Then we go down here, it gets a bit more interesting. Shai Bolton's a guy that we probably want to monitor during the preseason, see if he can fit into our side. Bailey Smith's there, who will definitely pick in the forward line. But yeah, we'll just start getting the primos in, I'd imagine. Gorn's probably too expensive for me to start with, the flex position, and might have to be a lot more aggressive with trades and stuff because there is a flex position now. So we'll grab Cherry though. I think I'm probably just going to go with Cherry. I know Gorn's getting a bit older, so don't know if he can back it up, but Gorn's one of the GOAT rucks, so he should be able to back it up. Definitely not going to go with English again because he's just screwed me around this year. And Nan Curvis is he's not a bad option. Bit of a pod, I would imagine. Most people probably won't pick him. There's some talk about Rowan Marshall sharing the ruck load with some of the other guys, I believe. So I'll probably just wait and see if he can get forward status. I think most people will be trying to do that. Witts, I don't actually mind. I would actually consider starting him. I just have to see his pre-season and see how he goes. But I don't mind Witts at that price point. I think he's all right. Grundy's not too bad, but he kind of dropped off at the end of the year. So I think, if you want to be a bit different, I would go with Witts. But, we'll just have to wait and see. It is a while before footy comes back. But I think I'll grab De Koning as my other ruck. Hopefully he can just claim the number 1 spot at Carlton. Most people would be able to grab him. But yeah, then otherwise doesn't really seem that obvious past him. Oh, yeah, I think I was watching George, so shout out to him. He makes some great Supercoach content. He's one of the OG creators, but he was saying about Matt Flynn could be a really good pick for the flex position. So I think we'll probably have to grab him just because, he's a pretty good ruck and he hasn't been playing all year this year. So definitely need to consider him, I would imagine. Should be able to go up in price pretty quickly. And then who are we going to go for here? In the forward line, I think it'd be silly not to go with Horn Francis. He seems like he should be able to take his game to another level. Brett Daniels is another guy that's probably going to take his game to another level. There's some pretty good options, in the forward line here. But, this is the section of the team where you're going to see some real cheap players. I think most people have the same players. I think Shai Bolton, he's pretty cheap. I might have him in my team next video or something, but for the moment I won't have him in my team. And we'll grab Smith, obviously. Just all the Bulldogs that got traded, basically. So where's Jack Macrae at? He needs to come into my side. Jack Macrae, pretty cheap. He's going to be playing in the midfield, you would imagine, all the time. So he could go back to his good form from the past. And then Caleb Daniel, is it? Yeah. Everyone should be picking him. He should be just taking the kick-ins and stuff for North. That'd be hilarious to watch. And then this is where it kind of gets interesting. It's who else are we going to pick? I think for the moment I'll just grab the ruck Flynn for the moment. I think, he should be able to go pretty well, make us a bit of cash. And, how rucks score, you'd probably want to have another ruck, in the flex position because they're the top scorers. And then we can just grab some other guys here. I think I was having a look before. I reckon that Dev Robinson's pretty cheap, so we'll probably grab him as a forward rookie option. Have I gone past him yet? Don't think so. I think he's a bit more expensive than the others, but yeah, that's a pretty good price for him. So we'll grab him. There's some other guys like Narkle, probably wouldn't pick him for Supercoach. Kako, don't know how he'll score. He's one of the high draft picks, like Essendon's first pick, I think. And then Jack Martin's pretty cheap, but is he going to get consistent games? I'm not too sure. Scrolling down, who else? Tom Lynch is pretty cheap. He's probably someone to keep an eye out for. Probably wouldn't pick him, but just watch him. Same with Mitch Lewis. I think he could be Hawthorn's best forward. He seems like he's going to be a really good key forward. So for 178k, I think he could be a really good pick, and Hawthorn are going to only get better. So that'll be interesting to see that. Who else am I going to grab? I'll just probably go over the midfield first. I feel like I'm forgetting someone. I can't remember. But we'll go over the midfield, just grab the top end draft picks, I'd imagine, just for the moment anyway. But Lawler, you would imagine he would be straight into the team for Richmond. Finn O'Sullivan, probably want to grab him as well, and Jagger Smith. I think you just got to pay up for these guys. And then who else is there? Josh Smiley, I think, but Sid Draper is another guy. You could get Elijah Sardis if you want. I think he should come back from his injury. Even Levi Ashcroft. Just, again, not too sure about how the Brisbane midfield is going to line up. for him, but he should be able to score really well regardless. He should have been the number 1 draft pick. And then Langford, he was like Melbourne's first pick. So you would imagine he would slot straight into the midfield with a midfield that's kind of struggling already. And then I think I'll round out my team with Mitch Nevitt, because there is a bit of talk around him at the moment from the Cats. They reckon he's going to play a fair bit more next year. So it could be like, swapping in and out of the team with Dangerfield when he's on rest. So I'd imagine that's what's going to happen. And then in the ruck here, we'll probably just grab like a DPP one for the moment. Max Heath, I think this might be the guy that we'll be swapping with Marshall. I'm not too sure about that. Don't quote me on that one, but I'll have to double check that. But yeah, this is just my first team, obviously, so it's going to be a bit different to my final team. We still have heaps of money to be spent. I'm just trying to remember. I can't remember who I was going to pick. I think I can remember. Who else are we looking for here? Not too sure at the moment. I'll just fill out my team with some other guys. I can't remember who the bloody good draft picks are. Zane Dersma, top draft pick from the other year, but I think he still has to develop a bit of a frame, but could get games, you would imagine. Yeah, who do you even go? I'll probably just chuck Mitch Lewis in there. I think he's nearly ready to come back. Oh, Dan Curtin is another one. They were talking about him on Code Sports, I believe, about a position change or something. So he's another guy to keep an eye out for, I would imagine. Who else? We'll just finish our team off with someone else. If they can't really think of anyone. Erasmus, maybe. Not too sure what happened to him. He should be coming back, hopefully. Well, that will leave us with like 125k. So I wonder what I can get instead. So yeah, who to pick over Jagger Smith? I think Jagger Smith is like the guy that just has the great stats. He's just an accumulator, so he could be a good option. I think maybe I'll have to have a closer look at Finn O'Sullivan, but I'll get rid of him for the moment. And this is where I'll bring in a interesting pick, I reckon. A bit of a pod. If I've got enough. I don't know how much he costs, but yeah, here he is. The man that has been forgotten. So I'll pretty much just have the entire Cats midfield, but Cam Guthrie, 278k. I think, 278k. So he literally didn't play all that much in 2023. And 2024, he missed like most of the season. I think he played like a couple games, like 6 games maybe. But he pretty much was our best midfielder in the premiership year. And then he's been injured. But for 278k, that is a bargain buy, I reckon. He should just slot straight back into the midfield, even with Bailey Smith coming into the team. I think, he should be the main man behind Holmes. Like, he probably could contend Holmes. Like, he's just got a bit more experience. But I think that, Guthrie, he does come with that injury risk. But because we have a flex position, I think that I'll probably start him. I'll probably have to go and watch a training and just make sure he's right. But I think that from the VFL game that he did play, that he was right to play in the prelim, but they didn't pick him up. I was watching the VFL game, and I think that he actually looked pretty good to go like back into AFL. It was a bit stiff not to get named. I think, because Hawkins didn't get named as well. That's why they didn't do it. But yeah, Cam Guthrie, I think he's another guy. He's smiling again, so I think he's someone to definitely consider for how cheap he is. But I might have forgotten about some other good picks. But for the moment, that's my team. It doesn't look too bad. I'm pretty happy with it. But, it's the first time I've picked my side, so see how much it changes over the videos to come. But I'll have to have a deeper dive into the all the players and the pricing, see if I've missed anyone. Some obvious picks that I might have missed. But yeah, hopefully you guys get gold, have a little play around with it. Maybe you're sick of footy season, you don't want to hear anything about it until footy comes around. That's fair enough as well. But I'm bloody crazy about footy. So yeah, this is my first team on day one of the team opening, like the team picker opening. So hopefully everyone has a great Christmas and you have a good time off work and stuff like that, and just sit back and relax and, you know, enjoy the cricket if you're into that. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you next year.